As we grow older, relationships take on new meaning. Friendships may fade and life shifts around us, but one thing remains constant: the need to trust ourselves. In this video, we'll explore the importance of self-reliance, the deep connection with a partner, and the joy that children bring, all while understanding they're not our entire world. We'll dive into how to build confidence, nurture meaningful relationships, and embrace the independence that leads to lasting fulfillment. The heartwarming stories and insights we'll share will help us not just survive these years, but thrive in them, finding true happiness in our journey. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing so you never miss out on these important lessons. Feel free to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. And if something doesn't quite hit the mark, comment number 0 so we can keep improving. Let's get started. Number 1, confidence in ourselves becomes essential as we grow older. As life unfolds, the one person we can consistently rely on is ourselves. In our younger years, we're often surrounded by friends and loved ones, creating a comforting circle of support. It feels as though we are constantly wrapped in the warmth of companionship. Yet, as the seasons change, so do the dynamics of those relationships. Not every friendship will last, and some may fade away, leaving us to face life's challenges alone. There's an old saying that speaks volumes. Rely on a mountain, and the mountain may collapse. Rely on a person, and the person may leave. This reminds us that dependence on others can lead to disappointment, especially when they are no longer by our side. At some point, we must learn to stand firm, resilient, and capable against life's unpredictable storms. The ability to depend on ourselves strengthens our resilience, a trait we need more than ever as we age. Let's consider an ancient story that echoes this lesson. A man once visited a temple to pray to Avalokiteshvara, seeking divine help in overcoming life's hardships. To his surprise, he saw Avalokiteshvara herself praying, not for others, but for her own strength. This moment holds a profound message. We must learn to depend on ourselves. It's not that we should refuse help, but we must understand that our strength ultimately comes from within. Each of us will face our own challenges. Life doesn't discriminate, whether we are rich or poor, young or old. If we continually lean on others for support, we might find ourselves losing the very strength we need. And this becomes even more evident as we grow older. Many of us hope to be taken care of by family or loved ones as we age, but this expectation can be risky. Relying too much on others can lead to disappointment and even a loss of our independence.
Excessive dependence can lead us into a trap, making us feel powerless and unable to stand on our own. True strength comes from self-reliance. When we cultivate the ability to care for ourselves, we regain control over our lives, which is key to living confidently in our later years. By embracing self-reliance, we can meet the changes of aging head-on and thrive, instead of merely getting by. Through this process, we discover a deeper sense of fulfillment and meaning in life. Being confident in ourselves doesn't mean we reject help from others. It means knowing when to accept support and when to take charge of our own happiness. Building a strong network of friends and loved ones is important, but we must stay anchored in our own abilities. When we trust in our strength, we're better equipped to face the uncertainties of life. To cultivate confidence and self-reliance as we grow older, we can incorporate several intentional actions into our daily lives. These practices focus on building inner strength, independence, and a sense of personal empowerment that sustains us through the challenges of aging. Morning reflections can be a powerful tool to start each day with purpose and clarity. Begin each morning by spending 10 to 15 minutes in quiet reflection or meditation. During this time, Affirm your strengths and capabilities, reminding yourself that you have faced and overcome challenges before. Speak words of self-encouragement, such as, "I am capable of navigating this day with confidence and wisdom." Doing this daily helps shift the mind from relying on external validation to embracing personal resilience. Setting an intention for the day, whether it's to approach difficulties calmly or to be independent in decision-making, can reinforce this mindset. Journaling is another practice that deepens self-awareness and fosters independence. Set aside 15 to 20 minutes each evening to reflect on your day. Write about any challenges you faced and how you handled them. Consider how you solved problems on your own and acknowledge the moments when you stood firm in your decisions. This regular practice of journaling can reveal patterns of strength you may not have recognized before. Over time, it becomes clear that you are fully capable of guiding yourself through life's uncertainties. Writing down thoughts also allows us to process emotions and release any anxieties about relying on others for validation. Another action we can take is developing new skills or reinforcing old ones. Engaging in activities that promote learning and self-sufficiency is an excellent way to build confidence. Dedicate time weekly, perhaps an hour or two every Saturday morning, to learning something new. Whether it's a practical skill like cooking, gardening, or using technology, or a creative pursuit like painting or crafting. These activities reinforce the belief that we can still grow and improve, no matter our age.
When we place too much weight on those around us, we risk trapping ourselves in a cycle of dependency. It's easy to lose sight of our own abilities when we rely too heavily on others. Only by fostering self-reliance can we live with true confidence and strength in our later years. Embracing this independence allows us to navigate the inevitable changes of aging with grace instead of fear. Through this process of personal growth, we open the door to a life that is not only more fulfilling, but also more meaningful. Building confidence in ourselves doesn't mean shutting out help. It means finding the balance, accepting support when necessary, but knowing that our happiness and well-being rest in our hands. We can surround ourselves with those who uplift us, but we must stay grounded in our own abilities. When we learn to trust ourselves, we become stronger, more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. To cultivate confidence and self-reliance as we grow older, we can incorporate several intentional actions into our daily lives. These practices focus on building inner strength, independence, and a sense of personal empowerment that sustains us through the challenges of aging. Like 1. Declutter and organize your space. Every season, spend a weekend decluttering your home, focusing on one room at a time. By removing items you no longer need, you create a more organized, peaceful environment. This simple act reinforces that we are in control of our space, making it easier to manage day-to-day tasks independently. 2. Meal planning and cooking. Every Sunday, dedicate an hour or two to planning and preparing meals for the week. Cooking for yourself not only promotes healthy eating, but also builds self-reliance. Learning new recipes or experimenting with different cuisines adds excitement and confidence, reminding us that we can nourish our bodies and take care of our well-being. 3. Develop a self-care ritual. Establish a daily evening routine where you spend 20 to 30 minutes caring for yourself. This could involve skincare, stretching, or reading a book that nurtures your mind. Regularly investing in self-care sends the message that we are responsible for our own well-being and happiness, rather than waiting for others to take care of us. 4. Take solo outings. Once a week, plan an outing by yourself. Whether it's visiting a local museum, enjoying a coffee at a cafe, or taking a walk in nature, These solo experiences encourage self-sufficiency and independence. They offer opportunities to explore the world on our own terms, building confidence in navigating spaces without relying on others. 6. Financial self-check. Once a month, set aside time to review your finances. Organize bills, check bank statements, and assess your budget. This regular habit helps you feel more in control of your financial well-being, reducing the need to depend on others for advice or assistance. It also ensures that we're making informed decisions about our money, which is key to maintaining independence as we age. 7. Practice mindfulness or meditation. Set aside 10 to 15 minutes daily to practice mindfulness or meditation. Focusing on breathing, staying present, and calming the mind strengthens our ability to handle life's stressors independently. Over time, this practice builds emotional resilience, making it easier to face challenges without immediately seeking external reassurance. 8. Learn to troubleshoot technology. Once a week, take time to learn a new aspect of technology. Whether it's mastering a smartphone feature, learning how to manage your email, or exploring new apps. As technology becomes more integrated into everyday life, the more we understand it, the less reliant we become on others for help. This also promotes a sense of achievement and keeps us adaptable to new ways of doing things. Number 9. Volunteer or mentor others. At least once a month, dedicate time to volunteer or mentor someone in your community. Sharing your knowledge and skills reminds you of your own value and capabilities. Helping others reinforces that we are contributors, not just receivers, and boosts confidence as we see the positive impact we can make. 10. Plan and execute a solo project. Once every quarter, embark on a personal project. Whether it's redecorating a room, creating a garden, or building something with your hands. Taking on a project from start to finish builds a sense of accomplishment. By doing it solo, we remind ourselves that we have the capacity to create, manage, and complete tasks independently. Create a personal wellness challenge. Every few months, set a wellness goal, such as increasing water intake, improving sleep habits, or committing to daily walks. Track your progress over the course of a month and reward yourself for meeting each milestone. This encourages self-discipline and reinforces that our health and well-being are within our control. By consistently practicing these actions, we strengthen our ability to take care of ourselves and foster the independence needed to thrive as we age. Each habit reinforces self-reliance, giving us the confidence to face life's changes with grace and strength. So if you're still watching this video and feel connected to this message, comment number 1 below to let us know you're here. Thank you for your time. Number 2. A partner is the most important companion as we enter old age. When we look back on our journey, it becomes clear that our partner stands as the most steadfast companion we can rely on, aside from ourselves. Throughout life, we build relationships with family, friends, and colleagues, all of which add richness to our experiences. Yet, as we grow older, it becomes evident that the person we choose to share our life with emerges as the one who remains by our side through thick and thin. This bond, built over time, becomes essential as we face the realities of aging. In the early days of a relationship, love often feels like a whirlwind of excitement and passion. Everything is fresh, and the world seems full of possibility. But as the years pass, something deeper takes root. Love evolves from an intense feeling into a solid partnership. We find strength in shared experiences, mutual understanding, and the sacrifices we make for one another. What began with sparks of excitement grows into a profound connection that we rely on more as time goes on. As the years accumulate, our partner becomes the one who stands beside us, weathering every storm and celebrating every joy. Their presence is a constant, a reminder that we are never alone on this journey. To paint this picture vividly, let's consider a story that speaks to the true depth of love and partnership in the later years of life. This story follows a devoted couple facing the overwhelming challenge of Alzheimer's disease. As the wife slowly lost her memory, everyday tasks became harder and confusion became their new reality. But her husband didn't retreat. He didn't leave her to face the disease alone. Instead, he made the deliberate choice to remain by her side, becoming her source of strength and comfort. He didn't just stay, he adapted. Knowing that music brought her peace, he taught himself to play the piano. Every morning without fail, he would sit beside her, his hands gently moving over the keys. The soft melodies filled their home, bringing moments of calm to her troubled mind. Each note was chosen with care, a symbol of his dedication and love, filling their days with warmth amidst the difficult journey they faced together. Their story shows that true love goes beyond grand gestures. It lies in the small, consistent actions, rooted in a deep sense of responsibility and devotion. Over time, love transforms into something far more significant than romance. It becomes about showing up day after day, through joy and sorrow, through laughter and tears. It's about finding those moments of peace, even in the most challenging times, and knowing that you are never alone. There's a saying that rings true here. Younger people live for love, but the elderly live for gratitude. As we age and as our health and abilities change, having a partner becomes a source of comfort that cannot be replaced. This companionship is a reminder that even when life grows difficult, we have someone by our side. Someone who shares our burdens and celebrates our joys, reaffirming that love in its truest form is about connection and presence in the moments that matter most. Number 3. Children are indeed one of life's greatest blessings, but they are not everything. They fill our hearts with joy and pride, bringing a sense of unconditional love that shines brightly throughout our lives. Watching them grow, reach milestones, and succeed fills us with immense happiness. Yet as we grow older, it's important to remember that while our children will always hold a special place in our hearts, they are not meant to be the sole focus of our lives. When we start relying too much on our children for our happiness, we risk placing an unfair burden on them. Society often leads us to believe that our children should become our main support as we age, but the truth is that they have their own lives to build. They will always love us, but they need the space to create their own families, pursue their careers, and chase their dreams. If we tie our sense of self-worth too tightly to our role as parents, the moment they leave to follow their own path can leave us feeling empty and lost. As parents, our role is to guide our children toward independence, preparing them to face life's challenges with confidence. It's not about expecting them to take on the responsibility of our care once they've grown. If we hold on too tightly or place unrealistic expectations on their involvement in our later years, it can strain our relationship and rob us of the freedom we deserve. This can also lead to unhealthy emotional dependency, clouding the joys we could find in our own lives outside of our role as parents. British psychologist Sylvia once pointed out that a parent's love for their child is unconditional, without expecting anything in return. This highlights the essence of our role, to love freely and selflessly, without strings attached. As we grow older, however, the tendency can arise to expect more from our children. Yet, the greatest gift we can offer them is the freedom to live their lives fully, knowing that we trust them to thrive on their own. By doing this, we give ourselves the chance to live with independence, actively seeking our own happiness. Too often, parents become overly reliant on their children as they mature. Their joys and sorrows become tied to their children's lives, and when the time comes for the children to leave the nest, they're left with feelings of emptiness and loneliness. It's essential that we understand that while children bring immense joy, our lives shouldn't revolve solely around them. We need to cultivate our own sense of fulfillment and joy, ensuring that every time we reunite with our children, it's a time of genuine happiness, free from the weight of unmet expectations. Children are an invaluable part of our lives, but they cannot be everything. Our love for them should inspire us, not turn into a source of dependency. By embracing our independence, we allow both ourselves and our children to experience the joy of reunions without the heavy burden of obligation. As we navigate aging, we find strength in 3 key relationships: ourselves, our partners, and our children. Each brings something unique and vital to our lives, and it's essential that we appreciate the value each relationship holds. Let us share you a story of Mike. Mike was a devoted father who had always put his family first. For years, his life revolved around raising his 2 children, Emily and Jake. He spent countless hours at their soccer games, dance recitals, and school events, always cheering them on from the sidelines. His love for them was boundless, and he took immense pride in their achievements, celebrating each milestone as if it were his own. As the years passed, Emily graduated from college and landed a job in a bustling city, while Jake pursued his passion for music and began touring with a band. Mike felt a mix of pride and sadness as he watched his children carve out their own paths, realizing they were no longer dependent on him in the same way. The house that had once been filled with laughter and activity grew quieter as both children moved out to pursue their dreams. Initially, Mike struggled with this transition. He had always seen himself as the caretaker, the provider, and now, with his children gone, he felt a void in his life. He began to rely heavily on his children for emotional support, calling them frequently to share his feelings of loneliness. Each time they spoke, he would express how much he missed them, often turning the conversation back to his own feelings and needs. One day, during a phone call, Emily gently reminded Mike that she had a busy schedule with work and couldn't always be available for long chats. "Dad, I love you, but I also have to focus on my career now," she said, her tone compassionate but firm. Mike felt a pang of disappointment, realizing that he was unintentionally placing an emotional burden on his daughter. After reflecting on this conversation, Mike decided to make some changes. He recognized that he needed to reclaim his independence and cultivate his own interests. With encouragement from Emily and Jake, he signed up for a cooking class, something he had always wanted to try, but never found the time for while raising his kids. Cooking became a newfound passion for him, igniting a sense of creativity and fulfillment that he hadn't felt in years. As he honed his culinary skills, Mike also began to reconnect with old friends, joining a local hiking club and exploring the trails around his hometown. Each weekend, he would venture out, surrounded by nature and laughter, discovering the joys of companionship and adventure. He learned to appreciate his own company and the freedom that came with pursuing activities he loved. When Emily and Jake visited, they were amazed at the transformation in their father. He was no longer the lonely dad who waited by the phone. He was vibrant, engaging, and full of stories about his new experiences. Instead of seeking validation through their attention, he became a source of inspiration for them, encouraging them to pursue their passions just as he was doing. One evening, while sharing a meal that he had prepared for his children, Mike looked at them and said, "I realized something important. While being your dad is one of my greatest joys, I can't rely on you for my happiness. I need to find fulfillment in my own life too." Emily and Jake exchanged proud glances, recognizing the healthy shift in their father's perspective. As time went on, their relationships deepened. When they gathered for holidays or special occasions, the atmosphere was light and joyful. There were no lingering expectations or feelings of obligation. Instead, they celebrated their time together, cherishing the moments without the weight of dependency. Through this journey, Mike learned a valuable lesson. Children are indeed a blessing, but they are not everything. By embracing his independence and pursuing his passions, he not only enriched his own life, but also nurtured a healthier relationship with his children. They could now enjoy each other's company, free from the burdens of unmet expectations, creating a loving bond built on mutual respect and understanding. We cannot lean too heavily on any one of these pillars. Relying too much on one person, even our children, can lead to emotional imbalance. Instead, when we cultivate confidence in ourselves, foster a deep and supportive relationship with our partners, and love our children without unrealistic expectations, we can create a life of peace and contentment in our later years. This is the goal we should all strive for. A life rich with love, independence, and joyful connections, allowing both us and our children to honor each other's paths with respect and grace. As we conclude today's journey into self-reliance, the value of partnership, and the joys of parenting, let's take a moment to reflect. What insights have resonated with us? Think about one key lesson from today's discussion that inspires you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to know how you plan to weave these insights into your life. If this video brought you value, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more uplifting content. Thank you for being part of our community. We look forward to connecting with you in the next video.